Well, how do you do, failers? Alright, before I put this hunt up for you guys, I want to explain what happened yesterday. It's the day after now. It's November 10th today. So yesterday morning, November 9th at 7:50, I had the buck that I shot last year, the very first day, and I posted here on my channel, and I'll put a card up in the top corner for you. I got a lot of grief about that because I made a bad shot. The deer survived, and now the coming season, he showed up yesterday morning. His back right leg is real small, and that's where I hit him. His right side, he is a solid 4-point, and 4 points. And then on his opposite side, as usual, when an injury, it's a main beam with a brow tine. Well, he came in behind me yesterday morning on my buck property, which is my biggest property of all, and I got the cameras and stuff turned on. He stopped at a mock scrape that I had. I got him stopped, and he was quartered pretty hard away from me. He was exactly 9 yards when I shot. So I shot him. I went to go after the deer and stuff. You guys will watch it on video here. So I got to the end of the property where this deer was going, and it cornered another property where he was heading, and he was going to a little bit bigger property. Now this is after rewatching the video multiple times. I actually shut the main camera off too soon. I thought he went left or right. I wasn't 100% sure, and he actually just stood there. I should have left the camera run a lot longer. This is going to be a short, quick hunt. But anyway, I went through multiple processes using OnX Hunt and AcreView to find out who owns these other two properties. Well, the first property I went to, I knocked on their door, and this is roughly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They weren't home, so I left a note with my name, number, who I was, where I was hunting, exactly where it went through their property, and so I never heard from them. So I talked to their neighbors, which the other property is directly behind them, and I talked to them, and I told them who I was, what I was doing, and if I could have permission to walk out behind their house to look for blood, and also to if they knew exactly who owned the property, because what was coming up on the internet was a lady that is 3 counties or 3 states away, and it was her that owned the property, and they had permission. They had gotten permission many years ago to hunt this property. Her husband was hunting the property at the time when I knocked on the door, and we were discussing what was going on, and she wouldn't give me permission. Would that have been 100% the correct permission? No. So that's why I didn't proceed. And she goes, well, what time did you shoot that deer? I said, about 8 o'clock in the morning. She said, well, about 8:15, I had a buck walk through the backyard, and it walked over to the neighbor's driveway and walked up the neighbor's driveway part way, and she said it was limping pretty hard. I said, do you remember what the deer looked like? And she goes, yeah, she wouldn't give me a yes or no answer. Well, I told her, I said, well, I can show you a picture of this deer from a trail camera. I said, on the right side is 4 points, the other side is a main beam and a brow tine. She goes, oh, that's Goofy. They knew exactly what for deer it was, but she wouldn't admit to me or say that the buck that just walked through the yard this morning was the same deer or not. So I walked over to the neighbor's driveway and looked for blood and stuff. I couldn't find nothing. So then Yeah, they didn't give me permission, so I couldn't do anything. This is 5 o'clock now in the afternoon. So by that time, that deer would be spoiled. The meat would be spoiled because it was high as 74 degrees. And I don't care about the horns necessarily. It was a deer that I had interactions with last year. I wounded him. I had an opportunity again this year, so I took the shot. He wasn't exactly a target buck, but he was a 3.5-year-old. I'll say in a video that he was a 2.5, but he wasn't. So that's the story. And unfortunately, I couldn't get him. So, alright. If you guys would please subscribe, smash the like button, and until next time, yeet. Good morning, failers. It is November 9th, and I'm here in southeastern PA. It is currently 6:30 in the morning. It's 15 minutes past the legal shooting light. And I was covered up in deer this morning at 5 o'clock when I climbed in a tree. And right at shooting light, I had a 3-point come into a mock scrape that I have. I'm on my property that I call my buck property. It's because normally this is where I kill my buck year after year. It's my biggest private property that I have to hunt. And it's me and one other guy that hunts this property here. The rut is kicked off here. Unfortunately, this week is 70 degrees for the high. It was 60 degrees this morning when I left the house at about 4:30. I have 5 shooter buck on this property. I have 2 big 8 points, a 6, a 7, and another 6-point. And they're all they're past the ears, real high tines. It's just an incredible buck, and it's a buck that you normally wouldn't see on my mountain. So my goal this year is to shoot a 3.5-year-old or older, and I love to shoot a solid 8-point. I shot 2 different 8-points, but they're broken up. They're not, nothing to really talk about. Beautiful deer, but they're just broken up and stuff. So anyway, we're gonna sit tight here, and hopefully big old buck comes in. We just got a buck. I didn't get the best penetration. I don't even know where he came from. He just instantly appeared beside me. I'm gonna knock another arrow. Just because our laws allowed us this year to shoot multiple deer as long as we have tags before we tag that deer. I just shot him at like 5 yards over top of the bridge. It's 7:50. It's 7:50. Just like that, the things can change. That's what's so incredible about the rut. That's gonna be my biggest buck that I've not shot, but that's a he got my heart pumping. He has 4 on one side, and I think it's just a main beam on the other. That is freaking incredible. It's only a 2.5-year-old deer though, which is the only downside, but that was freaking cool. Alright, my rule, I did not see that deer fall. I think he's laying right there though, but I didn't see him fall. Is wait 1 hour no matter what. I will not climb down under an hour. But I plan on sitting here until 10 o'clock anyway, so it's 8 o'clock, that's 2 hours. Now my nerves are getting to me. I don't get buck fever or anything, or deer fever, until after I shoot. Because I got so much going on here with the cameras. I'm so concentrated on getting it on video, that's it. Alright, it's about 15 minutes after I shot. I finally calmed down now. And, so, I heard walking. And then I looked back, and all I seen was Rat coming in behind me, directly behind me at my 12 o'clock. And there's a thicket of just nasty briars and stuff, and he was hugging the edge of that, and he came in behind me, and I have a mock scrape underneath of me. And I seen the 4 points on the one side. I have a number of trail camera pictures of this deer, and he's just like a big main beam. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but I know his back right hip leg was really small in my trail camera pictures. So I'm thinking he had an injury of some sort. But he was 9 yards. I just ranged it here, 9 yards. I'm over top of the bridge, and he was quartered hard away. And for whatever reason, I could not get my 20-yard pin low enough and back far enough where I know I should have shot him. And I hit him right where my pin was, but I hit him high in his shoulder, so that means I'm only going to probably get his left lung and not his right. When he took off, my arrow pulled out or it broke. When you're self-filming, it is really hard to not be too far zoomed in on the animal. You want to make sure it's in frame and you know, in view. So I wasn't zoomed in at all because he was so stinking close, and I'm looking at my field monitor, which is a 7-inch field monitor, and it's hard to see even on that compared to the little 3-inch LCD screen on your camera. So that arrow popped out, and then I left it record for a while. I didn't see the deer because I'm not looking where the deer went. I'm looking at my monitor of my camera. And I seen that he slowly walked back up into this thicket here, which is directly will be my 12 o'clock. So the deer came in at my 6. So I hope to God I have enough penetration. I'm shooting 70 pounds. I have a 465 grain arrow is what I'm launching, and I have a 2-inch Shawhacker broadhead. I have a lot of FOC up front. I have 75 grain brass insert with a 100 grain point, but it's 17% anyway. Anyway, enough of that, but I just hope, I'm hoping that's a fatal shot. It's gotta be. I have never not penetrate the shoulder blade, and it's not in the leg bone, so I ain't worried about that. But anyway, we're gonna sit here for a solid 2 hours. Hopefully a doe comes in. I have 2 doe tags for this management area, and looking down here, I can tell you right now there's not going to be any blood because of the shot placement is so high. I'm not going to get blood until 30, well, not quite 30 yards where he ran, where my arrow broke off or pulled out, one or the other. I seen it come out. So well, that was neat. It's 9:45, And I told myself I'm sitting till 10. And I started hearing these couple of footsteps down in where that buck went. And I was like, what if that son of a gun's coming back? And then I realized it's a little, I guess he spike buck. His horns are really like that high. Right now he's circling up to my left side here. He's 100% downwind. I was recording and my field monitor battery died when he was going behind my tree. So I had to flip out the LCD screen. I just got that battery changed, but I couldn't do that while he was that close. Because I had to open up my my backpack bag, the zipper. So I didn't get any more footage of him going out around, but that was neat. Alright, so right here we are at first impact. I want to go to tracker on my OnX and hit start. So now I'm laying a breadcrumb trail right where I hit this deer. As of right now, there is no blood. So right here's where the deer was. And right up there is where I was. And right over here I have a little licking branch and a mock scrape. Then he runs this way. And the deer went down this trail here, or in here. As of right now, there is no blood. I have a trail camera. I can adjust I have a trail camera right there on that tree. Then a mock scrape. That's right there. But I could see my arrow from the tree. So I'm gonna get through this stuff here and then see what we can find. So right here's my arrow. And believe it or not, right there is a speck of blood on the leaves. So there it is, he snapped it off. I shoot a 26-inch arrow altogether. I have a 27-inch draw length. I know the deer, I know the deer went this way, and then that's where he disappeared. So I have my bow ready and I have my release on, and I'm just going to take it super slow, and if I continue to find a decent amount of blood or whatever, I'm going to show you guys, but I can't be ready, have the camera in my hands, have a pack on my back, which is 40 some pounds, and just multitask and do all this stuff. So you have to bear with me here. Once I find, a sign or find him, I will bring you guys back. Alright, well, I'm in about 20 yards max of where the arrow was broke off. And there's that one spot of blood. If you guys can see in here, it is thicker than thick. And I have trails going that way, I have trails going that way, I have trails going that way, I have trails on. It's literally like an intersection. and I did not find any blood. There's so many different deer tracks in here, I can't tell. It seems like I can't tell which one was his. So, this is how much penetration I got. So my arrows are 26 inches. And this arrow here was just a smidge different because of the knock. So I have a solid 6 inches that's in there. So what I'm gonna do, as they always say, when in doubt, back out. I'm gonna put my pack back on and I'm going to head out. I'm gonna head home, put the video on my computer, get a bigger field of view of what's going on, and maybe I can determine which way he went, left, right, or straight. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's been 3 hours already and counting. I laid a breadcrumb trail and I'm gonna pinpoint where the blood was, and I'm gonna stick my arrow in there too. So that's what we'll do.